नमस्कार सिक्किम क्रोनिकलमा तपाईहरु सबैजनालाई स्वागत छ। सिक्किमका अर्स्टवाइल छोगेल पाल्देन थन्डुप नामगेलको 100 वर्ष पुगेको जुन 1 इयर लङ सेलिब्रेसन थियो यो आज समापन भएको छ अनि यसलाई नेशनल इन्स्टिट्युट अफ टिबेटोलोजी अनि विभिन्न संघ संस्था र इन्डिभिजुअलहरुको संलग्नतामा यो कार्यक्रम सम्पन्न भएको छ। आजको कार्यक्रममा राज्य सरकारको तर्फबाट मन्त्री कुंगा निमा लेप्चा, मन्त्री सामडुप लेप्चा अनि मन्त्री सोनाम लामा उपस्थित हुनुहुन्थ्यो र विशेष त एनआईटीले प्रत्येक वर्ष मे 22 उहाँको जुन वर्षको जुन बर्थडे डेट छ यसलाई सरकारी बिदा भनी घोषणा गरेर उहाँहरूले मेमोरेन्डम चलाउनु भएको थियो भने यो माथि बोल्दै मन्त्री कुंगा निमा लेप्चाले यसलाई क्याबिनेटले पास गर्न पर्ने र मुख्यमन्त्री समक्ष यो कुरो पुगिसकेको जानकारी दिनुभएको छ। हेर्नुस् सिक्किम क्रोनिकलले तयार पारेको यो विशेष रिपोर्ट।
Along so tek along. Are nam along man kayu yang along man asam tek nam senyu ka ko kayu rong anu wong ngadi na temjit anu tinak.
I think first is I was actually here last year when it actually started, so it's a pleasure to be back. But I think what's important here is not the events per se, but really the remembrance of what Late Chogyal did for Sikkim. And I'm glad that these events are not just a celebration, but really a remembrance and hopefully an inspiration for people to carry on what he wanted to see happen in Sikkim, which I think is really development in Sikkim, what's good for the people of Sikkim. And I think he's left a big legacy. And now I also think it's an opportunity for the younger people to learn about him and to help carry that on. So I'm very happy that if this helps engender some of that interest, I think that's the most positive legacy that someone can say about Late Chogyal. Well, as somebody who was a son, we always felt that, but I think it's terrific that people get to appreciate some of how he really felt about Sikkim, not just his accomplishments, and certainly for some of the younger people who never had an opportunity. I think the important thing, as I said earlier, is really his legacy to have people to continue to work for Sikkim, and I think hopefully that inspires people, and certainly he had a lot of love and affection for Sikkim, as I think almost everybody who's met him would say. Well, certainly it would be, I think, personally, something that would be very important, but really it would only matter if it means something for the people of Sikkim. And if his legacy really is to encourage this, I can only imagine it should be in a positive way and a reminder. And hopefully we don't wait another 100 years, but really day by day, people remember what he was trying to do and try and effect that. For me, that's the most important. And if this helps engender that, that's something that I would hope that the government would support. It's as you know how busy Chogyal was. So the quietest time of the day was breakfast time. And there's a secret pond by Tuklakang, so people please don't climb over there. But there's a little clearing, and you would never know that we'd just have a simple carpet and have breakfast outside there. And that was a quiet time when there weren't lots of visitors, because from morning till evening, people would come up to the palace. But it was kind of the hour time, if you can call it that way. But he found time for everybody, including his family, in those circumstances. To carry on his vision. Celebration is just a date. And I think if this can really help spark, a recognition of what he tried to do, which was positive for Sikkim, and people now can take responsibility, I think the best way of celebrating his life is for people to continue what he wanted to try to do in terms of development of Sikkim and to bring, peace and education and all the development that you heard about. And so I think that's the most important remembrance that we can do for.
So do you think to be people of Sikkim are still carrying that Sikkimese ethos?
I think it's important, and I think self-identity is important. There are many things that are special about Sikkim, and I think people need to learn. And it's not just a remembrance of the past, but I think it's really about what your identity is. And I think there's a lot that people can learn about Sikkim. And I actually have some initiatives that I'd like to try to bring out to help encourage people to learn more about Sikkim. It's a very small place, and yet I don't think people really know the full history and culture and things that have happened in Sikkim. And I think that identity is important to carry us forward.
It is a matter of great honor for us that the Namgyal Chogyal Palden Thondup Namgyal is regarded as the architect of modern Sikkim. Uh, and he was the main person who had planned so many things for Sikkim, for the prosperous Sikkim. And then greatest of all is the 371F, which is a protected gear for Sikkim. It is a result of 8 Magnum 1973, which he signed along with the representative government MD and 3 political parties. Basically, that treaty was signed for providing protection to Sikkim. That was understood with the government in India. So because of that only today we feel, the 3 ethnic groups of Sikkim feel, Bhutias, Lepchas and Nepalese of Sikkim, that we are fully protected because of this and because of this thing. So all of us must pay our great tribute to the great soul who thought for Sikkim, who lived for Sikkim. This is centenary celebration is a kind of tradition, and everywhere it is being celebrated. There's nothing new. So my message to that, all of us will have to remember the history of our own country, own place, and also the contributions made by great people for your own motherland.
So there's been a memorandum to the government requesting this day as a holiday annually. So it's like government possible.
अब यसको चाहिँ के छ भने अनोभर चिफ मिनिस्टरले एकचोटि गर्नु कि यसको त अब क्याबिनेटमा बस्नुपर्छ त्यो डिस्कस गरेर मात्र हामीले गर्छ र अब क्याबिनेट मिटिङ हुँदा त्यति बेला हामीले त्यसको माथि कुरा गर्नेछौँ र विशेष गरेर आज हाम्रो सामान्य मुख्यमन्त्री आज यहाँ हुनुहुन्न तर उहाँको सडनली हिजो राति नै फेरि सेन्ट्रल गभर्मेन्टमा भेरी इम्पोर्टेन्ट म्याटर्स त्यो भएकोले गर्दाखेरि सो ही हेज टु बी देयर सो he has sent all his best wishes to the Centennial Celebration Committee as well, all the people who are gathered here. That you are like let us remember those of the history of the we have become part of a greater this thing, democratic union, but still we should remember our roots.
So you're someone who saw the king in person, eh? When you
Yes.
Tell us your account.
Fond memories.
I mean, as I saw, like those Baspang Kurayata, can one they told Hamsan Theo or Hami Pathan was the there is a Nani Haru. Wa Satai, Titi Devan of Sikkim, Nadi Rustabji Hunutio, or do is another Nani or Sata Maya don't you? जसमा पण्डित जवाहरलाल नेहरूलाई मान्ने प्यार त्यस्तो उहाँले हामीले प्यार गर्नुहुन्थ्यो हामी सानो थियो र उहाँले समय समयमा हामीलाई घुमाउन लानुहुन्थ्यो उहाँको गाडीमा दुईवटा दिवान साहबको गाडीभित्र त्यहाँदेखि छोगल गाडीभित्र हालेर हामीले कोही बेला फ्रुट प्रिजर्भेसन फ्याक्ट्री त्यहाँ गएर हामीले देखाउनुहुन्थ्यो वाट इज इट अल अबाउट त्यहाँदेखि हामीलाई माथि जिएन रोड त्यति बेला जिएन रोड हो त्यहाँनिर गएर हामीले त्यो स्नो जम्मै त्यो गर्नुहुन्थ्यो त्यस्तै हामीले घुमाउन लानुहुन्थ्यो त्यस्तो अन्त समय समयमा अब हामी चाहिँ कोही बेला दिवान साहबको कोठीमा सुत्थ्यो सानैमा रातभरि त्यहाँ उहाँले डकुमेन्ट फिल्महरू देखाएर डिनरहरू दिनुहुन्थ्यो तिनीहरू सुत्यो धेरै जस्तो हामी पैलासमा त्यसो घुम्यो खेल्यो अब हाम्रो लेट क्राउन प्रिन्स तेन्जिङ नामग्यालसँग हामी त्यति बेला झन्डै हामी एउटै एज जस्तो थियो तर अलिकति हामी सानो उहाँ र त्यति बेला त्यो जुन चाहिँ अब प्यालेसमा घुमेर खेलेर हिँडेको वी आर टोटली अनअवेयर वाट वाज गोइङ अन वी आर जस्ट किड्स र त्यो दिनहरू हामीले याद आउँछ त्यो दिन याद आउँछ अन्त त्यति बेला अलिकति उठ हुन्छ अब दोज द गुड ओल्डन डेज भनेर भन्नु पर्यो अब दोज डेज वी क्यानट ब्रिङ बेस्ट दोज डेज होइन त्यस्तोहरू छ र
So 50 years of democracy, 100 years of the kingdom. How should Sikkim take its legacy of the kingdom ahead?
अब यस्तो छ ड्युरिङ किङडममा कतिवटा जुन चाहिँ कुरा जस्तो अब त्यो समयमा हाम्रो शान्ति थियो त्यो समयमा जुन चाहिँ यो भाइचारा थियो त्यो समयमा जुन चाहिँ यो इफ एक्ज्याक्टली हामी त्यो रिमेम्बर गऱ्यो भने सिक्किम डेमोक्रेटिक फ्रन्ट गभर्मेन्ट इस्टाब्लिस हुँदै बित्तिकै त्यति बेला उहाँले हाम्रो प्रोफेसर अशोक लाहिरी त्यहाँदेखि हाम्रो प्रोफेसर महेन्द्र पी लामा उहाँहरूले सिक्किमबाट जुन चाहिँ इकोनोमिक सर्वे त्यो गर्नु भनेर भन्नुभएको थियो त्यो सर्वे जब सकेपछि त्यति बेला अन्त एउटा प्रेजेन्टेसनमा हामी जब सिनियर अफिसर्स हुँदाखेरि प्रोफेसर अशोक लाहिरीले के भन्नुभयो भने चाहिँ सिक्किमको जिडिपी कम्पेरिजन प्रेजेन्ट डे र पास्टको कम्पेरिजन गर्दा उहाँले भन्नुहुन्थ्यो त्यो मोनार्कीको टाइममा चाहिँ जिडिपी धेरै राम्रो थियो इन द सेन्स द्याट त्यति बेला मान्छे दे डिन्ट हेभ टु डिपेन्ड अन द गभर्मेन्ट आफ्नो हातले काम गर्थ्यो खेती गर्थ्यो जम्मै गर्थ्यो त्यसले गर्दाखेरि जिडिपी चाहिँ राम्रो डिपेन्ड गर्नु पर्ने थियो अहिले चाहिँ अब के भन्दा जम्मै गभर्मेन्ट डिपेन्ड भएकोले गर्दाखेरि हाम्रो यो गाउँ बस्तीमा खेतीपाती छोडिसकेको छ मान्छेले र अब त्यो पास्टको जुन चाहिँ राम्रो राम्रो कुरालाई चाहिँ हामीले सिक्नुपर्छ सिकेर पास्टमा चाहिँ वाइ सिक्किम जिडिपी वाज गुड त्यसलाई हामीले लिएर त्यसैलाई हामीले फलो गर्नुपर्छ अहिले पास्टमा जुन किसिमको त्यो एजुकेसनको जुन चाहिँ एउटा स्ट्यान्डर्ड त्यति बेला थियो हामीले याद पाएको त्यो बेलाको त्यो जुन एजुकेसन स्ट्यान्डर्ड जुन चाहिँ छ र अहिले प्रेजेन्ट डेमा अहिले धेरै इम्प्रुभ भएको छ कसरी इम्प्रुभ गर्नुपर्ने पास्टमा के थियो भने एभ्री 2 किलोमिटर्समा स्कुल्सहरू हुनुपर्छ भनेर कम्पलसरी त्यस्तो थियो त्यो उति थियो र त्यो किसिमको जुन राम्रो राम्रो कुरालाई चाहिँ हामीले लिनुपर्छ अब समयको त्यो मुताबिक चेन्जेस त आउनै पर्यो मतलब हुनै पर्यो यो त्यस के भन्नु भगवान् बुद्धले भन्नुभएको मुताबिक नि नथिङ इज द पर्मानेन्ट इन दिस वर्ल्ड भन्नु सम टाइम आउँछ त्यो पनि हुनैपर्छ र वी हेभ टु गो बाई द के भन्छ यो जुन चाहिँ ट्रान्जिसनल पिरियडलाई हामीले एक्सेप्ट गर्दै गर्नुपर्दा एट द सेम टाइम पास्टको जति राम्रो कुरो छ अल द गुड थिङ्स द्याट इन द पास्ट वी हेभ टु त्यसलाई चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ रेप्लिकेट गर्नुपर्छ गरिराखेर वी हेभ टु फर्ज एट हेर्नुपर्छ हामी अगाडि
At the outset to all of you. Today we are in the end of the program which started last year only, 22 May. And now we are, today is 20 May 2023. So we have journeyed for 1 year. And yeah, we had lots of program earlier in the schools, open competition, the sports, swimming, archery. Then there were medical camps all over districts. We did our best, and this was done in memory of the 12th Chogyal Palden Thondup Namgyal. He was the main person establishing this NIT in 1957-58 when he was then the Crown Prince of Sikkim. So since then, today whatever you see around the property of NIT in and around, this all was his property, and he was donated that to the so to say trust, not exactly trust, but what happened was for about 18 years he was the president from 57 to 1975, and he was single-handedly he was managing the whole thing. But in 1975, when there was a political hiccups in Gangtok, as you all know that, then what happened was with the change of government, there was the system was a little bit changed, like whoever comes the governor of state since 1975, they are the president of the institute now. So now we are running the administration under the presidentship of the governor of state. So it's all okay. I mean, it was exciting, and I could see that lots of people from the districts, from the schools, from local gentries also, all were participating. And I feel that they now realize that uh, there is their identity, their culture preservation, their traditions. And like Chogyal was just a symbolic for all the Sikkimese people in one, because whatever he did, he has passed lots of acts and so many things had happened, but that was entirely for the Sikkim as a whole. There was no any discrimination among the community. So it was all that whatever today are thankful to the Chogyal was because of him only. Today we are with the identity that we are to be in future also. As we all know that there was an act which is popularly talks today, 371F, 8 May Agreement, and there are some other which you must be hearing all around. It was because of his contribution to the Sikkimese people overall. And so I think we should be grateful to him, and we have to pay at least a salute to his memories. And today is the 100th exactly day that he was born, today, this morning only. So we are very much happy with the royal family, including the Chogyal himself.
So over the past 1 year, we've also seen an increased presence of the royal family taking part in these celebrations, right? What kind of emotions they are sharing and how important it is for Sikkim?
Exactly till 73, the celebration was doing by the state government. That was on the 4th of April every year as a Chogyal's birthday. And from 73, 74, 75, there was because of political hiccups in the state, then that was cancelled. And that was completely cancelled till this year, till 2023, so to say. And like earlier, we used to celebrate in Polo Ground, all the mass march, going picnic. But since then, like since there was no such celebration, so I feel that people were missing that sentiments. So actually, 4th April we used to celebrate as a birthday, but actual birthday is 22nd of May. 4th April was actually the consecration of him on the king throne in 1965 as a 12th Chogyal. So, but what happened was, in order to make a shortcut, and maybe Chogyal doesn't want all the citizens to be, like given problem to come and go, he clubbed both the thing. 4th April as a consecration day and 22nd as a birthday to one program. And that he was decided on the 4th of April. But 4th of April was the consecration day as a crown, his crown to Chogyal. 22nd is the actual date of his birthday.
So there's been a request with the state government to observe 22nd April as a state government holiday every year. So how hopeful are you? How would the state government take this request?
That way, we have already apprised, we have submitted our request to the government. And today, 3 cabinet ministers, they had attended. Mr. Kunga Nima sir, Mr. Sonam Lama sir, and Mr. Samdup Lama. So actually, what happens is, I think there may be a procedure in the state also that this has to be cleared by the cabinet. So I'm sure that a few days after, we'll be hearing about this declaration of holiday after clearance from the cabinet. So this is what actually I'm hearing today. But I'm sure that our prayer will be considered by the government.
Sir, 50 years of democracy, 100 years of the king. How do you see Sikkim taking the legacy of the kingdom ahead with the aid of NIT, which has been very instrumental in keeping that alive?
Actually, NIT is just an institute. We have nothing to do with any political gimmicks and all that. It was established in 1957 with the mind of preservation of Buddhist religion, artifact, and all those traditions and all that. So actually, this institute has nothing to go beyond our own what it was established for. So in the political field, these are all things that you can see that there are always a change, ups and downs are always there. But in that case, I feel that as the NIT as an institute, we have nothing to go for any political reasons and political cause. So we are just an institute. We are giving trainings. Scholars are coming. Lots of researchers are going, and our motive is just to increase, to give the enlightening uh, matter to the education to the local people, and anyone coming from outside also. We are accepting them too.
Get all the credible news on the go. Download the Sikkim Chronicle app.